Welcome to Living Life. May the Lord bless you as you walk together with Him today. What do you do when you become frustrated, especially with people that are giving you a hard time or making your life miserable? Do you easily get angry? And how do you deal with your anger? This psalm is about the situation where you can be very easily angry. And David, looking back at his life, gives advice. Do not be taken over by the things that's going to make you angry and bring out the bad in you, but learn to respond in God's way and not be given over to anger. Let's think about that together.
Psalm chapter 37, verses 1 through 11. Of David, do not fret because of evil men, or be envious of those who do wrong. For like the grass they will soon wither, like green plants they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this. He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, the justice of your cause like the noonday sun. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him. Do not fret when men succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Refrain from anger and turn from wrath. Do not fret, it leads only to evil. For evil men will be cut off, but those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. A little while, and the wicked will be no more. Though you look for them, they will not be found. But the meek will inherit the land and enjoy great peace.
This section today, do not fret, is repeated 3 times. Do not fret in verse 1 because of evil men, or be envious. And then verse 7, and do not fret when men succeed in their ways. And then verse 8, refrain from anger, turn from wrath, do not fret because it leads only to evil. And David knows about a situation and difficulty and encounters, and that brings out anger. And then if you are taken over by anger, and then again and again, he says, and this will lead you to the path, and that is not good. That is not good. This psalm is a wisdom psalm and written in an acrostic alphabet, and then Hebrew alphabet, A, B, C, D, all the way. And it is a psalm that instructs, and then people, especially how not to live, but how to live. Here, in the situation where it's so easily react with anger or frustration, he says, don't do it. And learn to respond in God's way. What is God's way? Here, he gives a picture that, yes, there are 2 different paths to respond even when you become so angry. And then when you are taken over by sin and anger, it will lead you to evil. And it will take you down to the path that is not good. He says, think about this. And then you need to think about this and then have a big picture, a long view. The wicked people, evil people, will not be around for long. But those that are seeking God and walk together with God will be here forever. And that is an important reminder. But what's more, he says here, again, as you think about this life and responding, not just in a short-term kind of a way, but with a big, long view in sight, but also know that God is involved. And God will intervene, and God will be and is at work in your life. So as you're thinking about the situation, whatever that's happening, you need to make room for God to intervene, because again and again he says God will do it. God will respond, and God will reward, and then God will come through, and then placing our hope in God. But along with that, he gives some pretty good advice. Starts with verse 3. What do you do when you want to have a big picture, and then when you have God in view? This is what you do. In the midst of difficult situation, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land, enjoy safe pasture. And that's what he is asking you to do. Trust in the Lord and do good. And trusting God, even though the situation seems like it's out of control, trust that God, who knows you, loves you, and is in control, and trust him. And then he goes on and says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Delight yourself, not just in the things, good things that you had, or the good things that's happening to your family, to your business, or other things, but learn to enjoy and find delight in the Lord himself, who he is, his goodness, faithfulness, compassion, loving kindness, his holiness, and then his purity, and then how he comes through again and again with his deliverance. Delight in him, and then you will surely see God being who he is to you and proving himself to you again. And then he says, commit your way to the Lord. Commit whatever the burden that you may have, cast it upon him and commit to him, and then he will come through. And verse 7, it says, be still before the Lord. Do not try to take things on your hand and do it, but wait patiently, surrender quietly, and be before the Lord. Then you will see God coming through. Verse 11, it ends like this: the meek will inherit the land, and they will enjoy great shalom. Jesus speaks about this. Meek will inherit the land. Those that are passive, no, but those that surrender, trust in the Lord, and wait upon the Lord will again experience God coming through, showing his faithfulness, and how God will give them true shalom. I hope in the midst of difficulty that you may be facing, that we will learn to respond this way. In today's passage, Psalmist David invites us not to react to difficulties, especially those situations and people that make you angry, but to respond in God's ways. I hope that you will learn to trust in the Lord and be faithful because God is faithful. Learn to delight in God, not just the things or a situation. Cast your cares upon him and be still before the Lord and experience how he comes through and shows himself to be faithful to you again this time. Lord, so many times we become frustrated easily, and so many times we just don't know what to do. That situation that makes us angry. But help us to be wise. Help us not to react, but respond in your ways, so that we may experience your shalom and your bounty. In Jesus' name, Amen.
이 프로그램은 시청자 여러분의 소중한 후원으로 제작됩니다.